Alright, hello everyone. Doing some work on a site for a game jam today. Basically, I want to make something similar to the Ludum Dare site, but that isn't Ludum Dare. And that's going to turn into what this is. I set up a bit of the database here, which is what this code is. And I made some migrations so that the database actually reflects what I've written here. And then now I'm going to need to do routes for an API so that things can actually interact with the backend. Yeah, the goal for the overall structure of the site is going to be there's going to be the database, the backend that interacts with the database, and then with API routes, and the front end which gets data from the API routes and then uses it to actually display things. But yeah, Prodigal, it says you claimed first to me. But yeah, and it says it's second now. Twitch channel point redeems have been glitching a bit recently. But yeah, congrats on the first. Yeah, you were number one. Oh, I just showed all the passwords. That's fine. It's not like anybody can actually interact with anything I just showed. I can rotate out the password as well. Time to be a Zelda master? Nice. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to create a main.js file. Do I actually want to do main.js? I guess I do, because I want to do Express. But I wonder what Zelda would be if... What Zelda would be if it was a girl. I am not sure fully what you mean by that, but... I do know the joke of Link being actually Zelda. I guess that's the joke you were doing there. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna want to do main.js. In this, I need to use Express. Why do I have a tsconfig? Why is it erroring? No inputs were found in config file. Okay. I'm gonna have to add an inputs into here. Oh, and I'm gonna have to do main.ts because I'm doing TypeScript. Okay. It's been a while since I've used Express. I definitely need to do npm I express. Is there Express docs? Just so I can reference to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Express. Node.js framework. Getting started. Basic routing. Okay, so import everything from Express. How does that not work? As expected? Can I find declaration file for Module Express? Does it not work in this? What did I do in other projects I've done? I have to have used Express or something. If I go to Documents, Godot. Oh, an auto overlay. I used the tournament bot. Okay, I can look at what I did here. Working with code. Yeah, this is the format. Oh, it's because I'm not set to type module. Yeah, that would do it. Type module. Hey, Bucky. Oh, why is my microphone all the way over there? For some reason it was behind my monitor. Okay. So set to type module. Why is this still... Why does it say as expected? This should work. Okay, I'm just gonna assume this works and then do like const app equals express. That kind of thing? No. You can really say I have not used Express in a while. Okay, so import Express from Express. And then I need to get the types. There we go. And that should work. There we go. Plus app equals Express. And then now, what are you up to today? I'm working on a site for a game jam, similar to Illumidary, pretty much. So const app equals express. Then I want to set up the routes. So app dot all it can't be the correct thing, can it? Yeah, it's get. And then app.listen, port, console.log, listening, or Jamcore, listening on port, and then I can just pass in the port. Const port equals 3005. Hosting a jam? Yeah. So if I run this, right, I cannot do that. npx tsc node main.js. This file is being treated as an ES module because it has a JS file extension, and that contains type module. Why does this give me issues? Is it because I said that as ES module in here? Oh. What can I set it to? ES next. There we go. Was it happening? Not sure yet. Okay, so we can now compile it, run it. It's listening on a port. Now I have to actually do the routes. To that, I'm going to do a routes folder. What's the best way to structure routes in Express? I'm going to look at the docs to see if they recommend something. Because if they don't recommend something specific, I think the best way to do it would be to have a file at every folder, and then you just route the subfolders for that in that file. But if they give a better option, I will follow what they say. Guide. Routing. So there's route methods, route paths. Yeah, I can match different things, route parameters. Multiple callback functions that behave like mail middleware to handle a request. Okay. You can create chainable route handlers for a route path by using app.route. Okay. Class-created modular mountable route handlers. Route instance is a complete middleware and routing system. For this reason, it's often referred to as a mini app. Yeah, so that's what I would do if it doesn't give me a better option. Using middleware. I guess instead of, what did I call that thing? It didn't call it middleware. Yeah, it's just routers. Advanced topics. Yeah, I don't see anything in terms of how to structure routers properly. Examples? What's this? Oh, so that's handling requests using a map? That's interesting. It's not really what I want. Good luck setting up the site behind your bed. See ya. See ya, Bucky. Have a good night. It's multi-router. Okay, so yeah, that's using API v1 and API v2. If I go into... Where's API? Oh, here. API v1. Okay, and then just all the handling for the version 1 of the API. Okay, I can do stuff like this. Yeah, so that's basically what I was going to do already. So for this, in routes, I'm going to do v1, v1.ts, I'm just going to copy what they have here. Import express as, well, not express, from express. Call this router. API v1 route. And I'm going to want to export router. Declaration or statement expected. Does this not work to export? That works. Export default. That doesn't work because I can't do that with export default, but I could export default router. Yeah. Now if I go to main, I can import v1 from routes v1. Do I need to do .js here or .ts? How do they handle importing? They used require, just not something I'm using. Okay, how did the official docs do routers? Routing. Create the router. And then here, it requires it, and then uses it for that path. I have to use API v1, v1. We go over here. Hey Pomo, alright. I'll do those in a sec. I want to finish this arrow first. Oh yeah, I'm currently working on the site for the jam. Well, not really the site yet, I'm working on the back end to try to get the API up. For some reason, this is not importing correctly. If I go over here, using Express with imports. Routers. This should work. I don't see a reason why this wouldn't work. Unless... What's the module resolution parameter? It's this. So if I do that... Can I find module routes v1? Slash routes slash v1 slash v1. Okay, it works if I do that. And now if I start it, and now I go to localhost 3005. Okay. So currently it shows that because I'm not going to the right path. But if I go API v1, it also doesn't work. Cannot get slash API slash v1. Oh, I didn't compile it. That would cause issues. There we go. Can I find module routes v1 imported from that? Do you mean to import that JS? I guess I did. So .js here. Compile. Run. There we go. Now I refresh the site, and I get API v1 route, which works. There we go. So we got the API routes up. Next thing to do would be to actually return the proper values from this. And I'm going to skip the SCA. What are you working on? Working on a game jam site. The back end, for one. Alright. Alright, promo redeemed push-ups, so it's push-up time. Let me turn this off. Still a button? There's a button, what do you mean? It was just redeemed, so it's on cooldown. But it's right there. You can't say it's not there. Yeah. It would be on cooldown because it was just redeemed. Oh, I can't angle this down easily. I guess I can do that. for it not being available so long? No, you can't make me do that. I did hydrate to make up for it. And now hydrate's permanently there. I have the 30 queued up though that I haven't done yet, so those will be done in the future. Four. And I need to do 6 more. There we go. 3 more every time you pause? No. That is not part of the deal. Alright, if I can move along. Alright. So how do I want to structure the API? I want to do a route for getting users, or getting a user, and routes for getting posts. How does Illumidary structure the API? If I go to Jambrain, public API, VX. It has nodes, it has user. Oh, this was done in PHP. Okay, but it has a user route and a bunch of functions for the user. I probably want to add data to it. I think I do that in PG admin. Here. I'm gonna hide my monitor for a sec. Oh, my music system is stuck on showing that. There we go. Actually, not PG admin. I could just do Heidi. Heidi SQL, and then show my monitor again. I want to do a Postgres database. TCP/IP, and set the credentials. I'm gonna have to hide my screen again for that. Okay. So password, username, and then the port, which is 5440. Can show this again. And it's on localhost. Database is Jamcore. Save. Open. Please launch Heidi from the directory where you've installed it. What? Why is Heidi broken? I was using Heidi before. Like, this is the folder where I installed it, so it should work. And it works. Okay. I don't know why that was doing that. Right over here is public, and then there's the tables for Flare, Post, and User. And then I can add in some example data that I can then query for. So let's do an example user for myself. No value column email. Email should be able to be null. Did I really do different to the schema? I did. This line's not a valid field or attribute definition. Oh, I need to do the question mark after string. Like that. Yeah, email should be optional. And I can do a new thing here. CD Jamcore. And then do a migration for make email optional. There we go. And now in here, I can insert a row, select Adagon, name Adagon. No value column password of highlights, that makes sense. I'll just do 3 A's for now. No value in column updated at, which would be the current time. And there we go. User has been made. I'll do test bio. And then insert another test user real quick. So let's do dummy. Test bio again, and then just set the values. There we go. Alright, so 2 test users have now been made. I can do a post to test with and flares to test with. For the flares, they need a name, which will be what's a good flare? I guess postmortem can be one. No value column description. What? How is that also not? Oh, yeah, I didn't make it optional. This needs to be optional. Make flare description optional. Is there anything else I need to make optional? Post title content. Yeah, content shouldn't be optional for posts. So I think that's it. And it's been applied. There we go. I can now go over here, save it, and it saves. So you have a postmortem flare for posts. You do another one for stream. Then for posts, I can do a test post. Title. What if I just take a post from the Loom Dari site to test with? So let's say I just take these, or this one. Set the values for created at and updated at. And then author ID is going to be dummy. There we go. And I'll do 2 more test posts. Okay, let's do this one. Content will be the paragraph. Values here for create and update at. Author will be dummy. And then I'll take a post I made. Yeah, let's do a stream post. It's a new post. Author is me. There we go. Third post. I can assign Flare ID 3 to post 2 and post 3. So 3 to post 2, which I guess is 5, and then 3 to 6. There we go, we have some test data. Over in routes, I can do a new route for post. Here, I want to look at an example route real quick. Docs. Okay. And then oh, it's not there. Okay. I could just figure it out myself. So over in routes, I can go to post. I can go to do one for user. In each of these, I want post.ts, user.ts. Copy what I have here. I'll just output user route for now and post route. This will import the post and user routes and then use them. Put a while true randomly somewhere in the code and forget about it. True. That sounds like a great idea. Over here, it's import post from post/post.js. Import user from user/user.js. router.use/post is post. router.use/user is user. I guess the best way to get multiple posts would be just having a post router that's different from my post router. So I can have one for the singular, one for the plural. And then I'm going to want arguments for these. Here. I want to get docs of what other people have done for this kind of thing. If I forget post. Okay, it gets it based on ID, which I could do as well. Do I have anything else that can differentiate posts? I have nothing else. But anything like searching by user would probably be done in the post instead of the singular post. Hey Fuzzy. Alright, how did you do arguments in Express again? Express.js URL parameters. Okay, so if I do console.log rec.query, what does it give me? Is there a way I can do like a browser in here? I guess not. I swear there's a way to do it in code. I just do it manually. Localhost 2005/API v1/post, and then ID equals 5. And now if I compile this and then run it, and I go here, post route, and it gives me ID 5. Okay. Skipping the song. So that's how we can get parameters. And then from that, I can see if it was given an ID. If so, it looks up the post, otherwise it returns a bad request HTTP, which I believe is HTTP 400, which I can check real quick with http.cat. Yeah, bad request. So now I can do const parameters equals rec.query. I'll just call this params. If params dot, can I just do a deconstructor? Or would that error if it doesn't have ID? If ID, then I saw console.log ID here. If not ID, I want to res.status 400 and return. Compile. Run. Now if I go to the site and I refresh, it works. Prints out 5 because it has the ID. If I get rid of the ID, we just undefined there, and this loads forever. What's in the log? Oh, why is the ID there? Okay, it's just loading forever. If it doesn't actually send anything, if I res.send here, and then compile it. Okay, yeah. If I send, then I get in error 400 bad request. So if there is ID for the post, or if I actually sent an ID, I would then have to see if that ID exists in the database, which I can do using Prisma. And then if it exists in the database, I return it. Prisma, how to see if value exists in database. Prisma, how to see if value exists in database. Okay, so import Prisma from Prisma. Cannot find a type file, so I need to install that. Types Prisma not in this registry. That is something. Using Prisma with type module. Oh, does Prisma not support this? The modules? That would suck if it does not. Oh, do I have to do @prisma/client? Oh, that works. Okay. So import Prisma client. Const Prisma equals new Prisma client. And then here I just do await Prisma dot host dot find unique, where ID is ID. And then I need to set this to be async. There we go. Type string not assignable to type number. Right. If not ID or not ID dot or is nan int and then ID. Or how do you convert a string to an int in JavaScript? It's parseInt. String. There we go. And after that, ID equals parseInt ID. Can I just set addString up here? No. And this needs to be a let. Number is not assignable to. Oh right, TypeScript won't let me do it. Okay. ID number equals parseInt ID. Oh, we'll clean it up later. I just want to make sure this works. There we go. So we find unique, and that should return the value. Const post equals await that. And then res.send post. So if I compile and then run it, localhost 3005 API v1 post, and ID is equal to 6, and then move this over here, I get the data for the post. So this is all the data for post 6, which is the one for what I made. What if I set it to an ID that doesn't exist? Let's say ID 2. Okay, just outputs nothing, which is fine for now. But we can get the actual post. I can copy this. I can drop it into user. Instead of post, I can do a user here. Get rid of the console logs. Const user equals that, and print it out. There we go. So now we can get posts and users from the API to actually show them in the site itself. The one main thing I'm going to have to do is the query to get multiple posts, and then I can actually work on the front end, getting the form up. So I can do posts. Post.ts. Instead of ID here, it's just not going to have anything passed in. And in post, it's going to return the first 10. So I can do that. Prisma return first 10 objects from table. Find many. Okay, so yeah, I can just use find many and have it do take 10. In v1, I'll do a map to posts. Compile it. Oh, I need to do post there as well. Compile it. And run it. Hey Bandon, thanks for the raid. Let me shout you out. So shout out Pandon17. There you go. How's your stream? Localhost 3005 API v1 and posts. Okay, that didn't return anything. Why did that not return anything? Bad request. How's it a bad request if I don't do bad requests? Got the save and load for spells fully working? Nice. Currently working on a site for a game jam here. I'm getting the backend set up so I can start working on front end. Okay, why is this invalid? If I console.log posts and then console.log some random thing up here. And then compile, run, and refresh. It doesn't output at all. Because I didn't change this to be posts. It's still post. Just gotta add spell functions so they seek, heal, and deal damage. Nice. Okay. And it worked. It just took a bit to actually do the query. But we have the 3 posts that were defined in the database now being returned from the API route. And now I can go to the front end and start making use of that. Then all I need is enemies and wordgen coded and to make some art. Nice. Starting to get excited? Yeah, it's always nice when you're reaching the end of things and you start to see it all come together. Okay. So we compile this, run it. So with the backend running. Now it's front end time. Jamjar. I did this using Next. So I can do cd jamjar npm run dev. Cannot find module. Modules. Did I not install? Everything's installed right here. Next. Why does it only go up to E? Okay, I guess I'll try reinstalling dependencies. How do you go so I can get my toaster oven of a room to chill out? See you soon. Alright, see you, Pandan. npm run dev. Can't find any pages or app directory, which makes sense. So I can do an app directory. Why did I not have... I thought it instantiated when you start a project, unless I accidentally deleted it. I think AppRouter's the new one. AppRouter Next.js. Yeah, it's the new one. Right. It doesn't actually say whether app or pages is new. Is app or pages router new? Okay, so app router was released in 2023, so that's the new one. Database app router code Next.js. Okay, so I need layout.js or layout.ts and page.ts. So in page, export default function. I'm just going to call it main for now. I'll redefine this later to be the actual function, but I just want to test it. I want to return div. It's not how it works. Yeah, it's div and then the ending div. Can I find name div? I swear this is how you define things in Next.js. What am I missing? Is it because I don't have the extension for it? I'm just gonna write out and see if it works. Run dev. Okay, that works. Localhost 3000. And terminated regex literal. Should be easier if it actually generated properly. Operator can be applied to types boolean and okay, so yeah, it's not reading it as HTML code properly, like it should be. Trish is going to try to run an ad break in a sec. When it does that, I'm going to switch to a stretch break scene and then go do something real quick, and then we'll be back when ads end to try to finish this up. But I'm going to be trying to figure out what's going on after ads. Because this should be working, based on how I've built things in the past. I can't actually check with my old code because it's on my other computer. Is there a Next.js extension? No, there isn't. Which means this should be working like that. Do I have to do an extra pair of brackets? Nope. What if I do... Okay, ads are going, so I'll switch it in a sec. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Try to see what's causing the issues, but we'll be back in a sec once ads are done. Oh, do I? Oh, right, I did it in this scene. Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, that's done. I think I figured it out as well. The one issue is because this is set to .ts instead of .tsx, and there we go, now it works. That's such a dumb issue. Now I can npm run dev. Okay. Now it's happening. The default export is not a React component. How is this not a React component? Is it because I don't have layout set up properly? Export default function. You know what? Master plan. Why don't I just go out a bit and create a new next project and then copy what it generates into my own stuff, because I accidentally deleted that folder, I guess. Create next app latest test. Yes, TypeScript, yes, yes. So that should install into a new directory, and I can just copy stuff out into here instead of just retyping it. I'll have to edit it after anyways, but this will help me get a minimum product out. CD test. Code that. So in here, I can copy the layout, paste it here, copy page, paste it here. I have to paste fonts and favicon and globals. There we go. So now if I go back to Jamjar and run it, I should be able to see the site going up. What's happening? Not found globals.css. It's right here. In .app.layout. Oh, because it's not in app. So now I can run, go to the site. Okay. Well, it shows something. There's no CSS though, which is not ideal. But it actually shows something now. So I can do a new div, new paragraph, test. Go to the site and it shows the test text, which is what I want. And now I'm going to have to do a call to the backend to get the posts and then populate that here. Section.js, how to do to a backend, how to do an API call to a backend. Client side. Should it be client side? I guess it has to be client side. Or else it's just not going to update. Oh, 10 push-ups? Okay. Pomo, you just here to redeem the push-ups. Fine. Here, I can show the current site before I go down to do the push-ups. Localhost 3000. This is what the site looks like right now. We just have to test text. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do an API call to the back end, get the posts, and then show them in the front end. Which shouldn't be that bad. I've done a similar thing for my slime system. The only difference in that is I actually connected the database to Next.js instead of having a separate backend. What's this lightning bolt? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disable background removal. And then angle it down. Okay, and then do push-ups. Just a sec. Okay, that was 6. Hey, Wendell. And I need 4 more. Okay. Good enough. So now, I need to figure out how to do API calls to the back end. I want to call to localhost. What was the route? Oh, it was 3005 for the back end. Over here, I can do new folder components. And here, new folder. I'll just call it post for now. Index at TS or TSX. And over here, I want to copy this kind of thing. Do a function posts. Use client. And then a use effect hook. Just be an empty array, so it does it when it's made. And this will fetch the posts and also set them to state. So I want to const posts set posts equals use state. Fetch post equals I want to do an async awaiting the fetch, and then once it fetches, it sets it in set posts. I'm going to do an arrow function, I guess, to make it a bit smaller. co-fetch post down here. And then fetch HTTP localhost 3005 API v1 posts. Set posts and net. Oh, because I have to const response equals that, and then response.data. Data does not exist in type response. Body. Form data. Something has to exist. Response to JSON. True, yeah, that would exist. Thank you. Oh, I need to await that. There we go. And now over here, I can do for every post, it creates a new post. So for post in posts, or how do you do that in this format? I remember there's some way to do for loops here. Next.js for loop. Next.js for loop inside the HTML code. Idiomatic React way is post.map. Right, yeah, so it's in squiggly brackets. Okay, yeah, thank you. Post. And then let's do just a test for now. So if I do this, post possibly undefined, that's fine. I guess I could do a check. Posts and end that. Map does not exist in type never. Just didn't actually set the type. It's fine, I'll set it later. And then let's just do 3 A's for now, just to make sure it's doing that 3 times. I do not need to reload it there. Now I can go to localhost 3000. It shows the test text. I can go to page, and I can show posts here. Refresh. 1 error. Network error when attempting to fetch resource. What happened? Oh, Core's issue. Hey, New Jank, welcome. Currently working on a site for a game jam. That means some other people are trying to run. How would I fix the Core's issue? Next.js Core's issue. Configure your backend server to allow requests. Okay. I can do that pretty easily. If I go to Jamcore, I can npm install cores. What kind of game jam? I don't know, just something similar to Loom Diary, pretty much. Except more community run as opposed to being run by one person. You should need cores if your backend is at the same host. Yeah. They're eventually going to be put onto the same port. For now, they're not on the same port, though. I have my backend on 3005 and my front end on 3000. But should we just do it by doing import cores from cores? Install the types for that. And just allow the site. Do origin, HTTP, localhost 3000. Does that not work? Oh, I need to do it like that. There we go. And now I can run it. Go back over to here and refresh the front end. And it works, but it is giving me so many 404s. Okay, I'm going to refresh that. When that's for Neptune? Yeah. Each child in a list should have a unique key property. Oh, that's easy to fix. But we can see there's 3 AAA prints, which means it's working now. Played Floodworks, nice. Ship it? True. Yeah, Floodworks is great. I still want to do the post jam for that at some point. I'm trying to get through a bunch of things in my backlog this week, now that I have a break from university. Key equals... I guess I can't really assign a key to anything yet. I guess I could. Key equals post.id. And then over here, I'm going to do post.title. Local host 3000. There we go. So now we have the titles for the test posts I had, as well as no more errors. Balancing dev time between 2 games right now. Yeah. I have way too many projects I have in my backlog. Okay, but we can now fetch posts from the back end and show it in the front end, which is basically all we need. And now I just have to make that look a lot neater. Post dot, what's the other data? Content, and then author. So now we have this kind of thing, where we have the title and then the description of the post. I'm going to install NextUI now. To do that, Okay, I want to install this. Next UI in Framer Motion. Should you consider installing Prettier? Yeah. Do I not already Prettier in here? Oh, I don't. Yeah, I'll add in Prettier eventually. Why that not work? When resolving jam quarter found in React. What? Oh, why is this jam quarter? This should be jam jar. Found React 19. Could not resolve dependency pure React greater than or equal to 18 from Next UI. Does Next UI not support React 19? Space after React? Yeah, because I also have Framer Motion. If I install Framer Motion first, it also doesn't work. No, it was two packages. Framer Motion is basically for animations, and then Next UI is a UI component library. Okay. So this is not working. I've not run into this before. And so I just have to downgrade React, but then I'd have to mess with Next.js. You know what? In cases like these, we consult the AI. Happens when different packages requiring compatible versions of the same dependency. You can bypass the pure dependency. Yeah, Next UI is great. Okay, so if I do React 18.2, so we downgrade React, npm I Framer Motion, that now works, and then I can install Next UI. In Tailwind, I'm gonna have to add it. That'll be added to content, and then dark mode and plugins. Import Next UI from a Next UI org/react. Expression is not callable. Do I have to do that? I do. And then I need a Next UI provider. I can do that from layout. have children in there. There you go. Now I run it again. And if I go to the site, it should not crash. What happened? Create context only works in client components. But I don't use create It's because of the provider. Did they really make it not work in server components? I'm making a providers file. Oh, hey. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to the YouTube chat for a sec. But yeah, thank you. Are you streaming multiple places, or where are these questions you're answering? I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. Hey, Andrew. But yeah, most people are over on the Twitch side. I need to get more into the habit of checking the YouTube side. But yeah, continuing on what I'm doing with the providers. Yeah, what's up? Is there a delay on the YouTube side? I didn't actually configure anything relating to a delay, but the default might be too much currently. So we have to look at that. There's not really a way to see what the delay is right now. How's it look so far? The site currently doesn't look great. Well, actually, it doesn't work at all because I'm been messing around with the providers and stuff. Because I mainly just did work in the back end so far. But I can make it show real quick. There we go. But this is what it looks like. We just have titles and descriptions for the posts. And I'm working on getting packaging so I can start doing UI components. Okay, I want to go to providers. This is cool, thanks. I want to do provider and then to show children. Children will be passed in as prop. And implicitly as any. I'll explicitly set it to React node? No. I'll do React node. And I'm gonna have to import that from React. I have to do a new object here, children, React node. Tried coding, but I'm not good at it. The best way to get better is to just keep practicing, pretty much. And learn how to reference things like docs. Because you're never going to be perfect at things. You're always going to have to reference things. The only way you can memorize how to do specific things, it's just repeated usage of it. Yeah, the best way to learn, find something simple to make, and then also go through some guides for a basic language like Python or JavaScript. And just make something like, starting out, maybe something like print out the numbers from 1 to 10. Figure out how to do that. Then you can do basic text games or similar, and then slowly work your way up into more advanced projects. For layout here, I'm going to put the providers I guess on the outside. Use Unity got stuck? Yeah. If you don't have experience with coding outside of game engines, usually you want to start by doing some basic things outside of a game engine because it's easier to prototype things and get some basic things going. And then you can switch over to actually doing things in engines once you understand a bit more about basic coding concepts. Some people start in engines. That's also fine as long as you can follow docs and guides well and understand why they're doing certain things. But yeah, the first 10 games you make are always going to suck, no matter what. The ones I made were not great. But that's how you learn, by just continually making things. Not all of them have to be perfect. Okay, if I compile. Okay, just the issue. If I make this a client component, is it going to fix itself? It does. Okay. You can start making impressively bad games. Yeah. Yeah, some games you make... Well, I guess it depends on what qualifies as bad. Because some games are actually nice, they just don't look great, and that's just due to skill set that's being built up. Like, not everyone is good at every part of the game building process, so some people don't do visuals very well. But the underlying mechanics and stuff can still be really nice, even though it doesn't look the greatest. Like when using a tutorial, I'll just copy code and not learn anything. Yeah. When you're following a tutorial, something I like to do is to try to figure out why they're typing each thing. And if you don't understand a specific part of the code, look up that code in the docs. And that will help you go through things a lot more and actually learn how to use docs and stuff. Docs, what I'm saying here, is just the documentation for the language. You just making this site for fun, or we're going to try to make it work long term? Long term to actually run game jams on as an alternative to Illumidary. There's a lot of people I know in the Illumidary community who are not happy with how Illumidary is being run. So I'm sort of starting this up as an alternative to as an alternative jam for all the community there. If you want to go to an alternative spot, if Illumidary ever goes away in the future. What's wrong with using Itch? Itch sucks. I mean, Itch is fine. The game jam system there, I do not like. It is terrible. And it has gotten no updates in a very long time. And it's not open source, so I can't contribute fixes to make it better. The only thing Itch has that other places don't is marketability. As in, any jam you run there will naturally get more people due to people being on Itch. But most other aspects, it's worse. The Illumidary system is way better than Itch's. What jams are you gonna make? Game jam. So it's just a basic game jam similar to Illumidary, where you just make a game in 72 hours. Like the voting system? Voting system is one. The way that games are displayed to system, the way that games are displayed to people with Illumidari's karma system is way better than Ish's recommendation system, which defaults to usually random, or their karma system is also pretty bad. To be specific, I don't think LT was much better. Alright. Tangent time. Let's go to Itch and let's go to Illumidary. So if we look at Itch, let's go to jams. Let's go to a jam I joined in the past. So let's say, let's go with the big one, GMTK Game Jam 2024. And let's go to the Illumidary jam. So if we look at both jams, Illumidary, when you first enter the site, you have games to play and then a feed of people making posts for the jams. Actually, Illumidary is a bad example because it doesn't have a forum. Let's go to Brackus. On the Itch side, you have a description of the jam, which is fine. Both are valid approaches to it. For the Illumidary site, you can click here to get the information on the jam, or here. It doesn't have great user experience. I would say this is better in terms of actually showing you information on the jam. Past that though, the feed aspect here tends to be a lot better than Itch's system, and makes it feel more like a community posting and talking with each other. With the community tab here, due to how the sorting works, because every time a new reply is made in a thread, it gets boosted to the top, which makes it so that threads that have a lot of activity just constantly get thrown to the top. Example of this, we have give me some game links. Constantly is at the top. Rate your game if you rate mine. Constantly at the top. Rating as many games as I can. Constantly at the top. Stuff like that, which kind of hinders any other form of discussion, as opposed to just throwing game links at people. With this, everything is chronological, which makes it so that there will always be new posts in the feed that you can look at and check out. Illumidary system is not great though, because you can't actually sort or do anything to the posts. It's only chronological. But it's better than Itch's in that aspect. For the looking for a game to play, could one person just spam new posts and try to stay at the top? Yeah, but that's when you get moderated. Which the feed was by the organizers, maybe a separate one from users? What do you mean by that? But yeah, if we look at games here, Illumidari's default sort is Smart Sort, which basically prioritizes to try to make everyone get 20 votes if they at least make an effort to rate things. And then once you get more votes, you end up not being recommended here as much. If we go to itch.io's game suggestion system, the default is it really popular? There's no way this is the default. Jams joined. Or if I go to, what's the jam that just ended? Scream Jam. Submissions. Okay, yeah, defaults to random. Like, why should a user post be on the default page? I want updates from the organizer on the main page. Oh yeah, yeah. Illumidary system. Yeah, the organizer post is just the stuff up here, or in the news category. Like, you can click news here and then see all their stuff. So you can get to the organizer posts. It just doesn't have great UX. But yeah, something has to be improved, but it's better than Itch's system because Itch doesn't have it at all. But the default in Itch normally is random sort. The issue with random sort is there's no incentive to actually contribute ratings, which makes certain jams just have a giant lack of ratings. And also makes it so that things like rate for rates become very popular. As you can see by how this form is now being spammed. Because people don't have a way to guarantee they're going to get ratings if they rate things, due to it being random sort as by default. So people naturally gravitate towards rate for rates to guarantee that. Ideally, they wouldn't have to do that, and it would just be contributed into the sorting algorithm, which is what Lumdari does. It has better sorting systems, though. Lumdari needs actual sorts. Yeah, that's my main grapes with itch. And there's no way to actually have a decent sort. Every sort here has issues. Popular tends to be chaos. Random is random. It's decent enough, but not really. Most karma can be easily abused by people rate spamming. Least rated can be fine. The issue with that is usually it's least rated for a reason. Like it's either not runnable or people aren't actually trying to rate other people or contribute their own ratings. Isn't there a sort what Smart Button was? No, like there's sorts here, but there's no plain browser, Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, other sorts, stuff like that. There's no filters to filter things by. Yeah, that's what I meant by that. Most rated should not exist. Submission order also doesn't really need to exist. It just naturally gives an advantage to people who submitted in the... Or also, most recently submitted gives an advantage to people who submitted with like 2 seconds left. And then the other way just gives an advantage to people who submitted as soon as possible. So yeah, this should not exist, this should not exist, this should not exist. And then these are fine, except there's usually some kind of issue with them. Popular seems to be influenced by external non-dev players. Yeah, popular is popular across all of itch. So it can get random based on who gets lucky. But then it kind of snowballs things, which shouldn't be happening. Instead, ratings should be spread out instead of trying to encourage snowballing. Lumdari has this issue a tiny bit because it has grade sort, which allows snowballing. Like if we look at TinyPack, it's gotten 376 ratings just because it's been constantly at the top of grade sort, and people are like, oh, it's at the top of grade sort, let's check that out. Could be popular dev. It's not usually because it's a popular dev. But yeah, I guess that could also be the case if it's like Team Bargerline or something. But yeah, just overall, Lumdari system is better than itch. It still has issues, but it's a lot better in terms of participating in and with actual jams, which is why Lumdari is clearly my favorite jam. What's your site going to do? Take Lumdari system and add in features that are missing from Lumdari site. So flares on posts, actual filters, sorting for the front page feed, stuff like that. Okay. Where's the code I was working on? Oh, it's here. Okay. For some reason, it's not actually showing anything. Oh, hydration failed because the server rendered HTML that didn't match the client. HTML cannot be a child of div. Okay. It's because I put the providers here when they should be children of HTML. So provider's there. And if I refresh, okay, it's actually showing now. What if I fully refresh this? Lundari, but with modern UX. Yeah, pretty much. Body cannot be a child of div, so I need to put providers inside of body. So yeah, Lundari system is great. It's just missing some features. Okay, it works. But yeah, we can see here if I drag this onto this screen, we have the title and description working again, except we also have Next UI working. So now I can go into here, and I can do a card. And card body will be post title and post content. And now if I show this on this screen, you can see that we have cards, and every card contains the title of the post and the description of the post. Which means that Next UI is working. When I'm giving data from the backend, I'm probably also going to want to give the user. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that. If I go to posts here, I want to look up how to also return user data. Oh, include. Okay. So over here, I need to do include and then user. User does not exist in type post include. Is it because I need to do author? Yeah. So now I can compile and run it. And now if I query from the backend, and I query for posts, there we go. You can see I get the author information, which I can then use to populate the post in the feed. I'm also probably going to include the flares. And then recompile that. There you go, now we have flares data. I can go back to the front end. And in a new paragraph, I'll do post dot, how is it formatted? Dot author dot name. And then by author name. Yeah, you can see here, we got the post by dummy, post by dummy, post by Adagon. At the top, I'm also going to do the flares. I'll do that under title above content. Flares and flares.map. Flare 2 cannot find name flares because I need to do post.flares. And then that needs to print out a new div. The div key will be flare.id. Object.values, post.flares. Flares of type unknown, that's fine for now. I can do a new paragraph with flare.name. Now recompile. Oh yeah, that's the backend. I don't need to recompile. Backend. Okay, and now if you can see here, we've got the post name, and then the flare, the post description, and then the author by dummy. Next up would be to make it look a bit nicer. So I can use NextUI for that. NextUI should have a component called a chip. Yeah, chip. So instead of a paragraph here, I can do a chip. And now if I refresh this, you can see that we've got the chips for the flares. For the author, there's a user. Yes, there's a user property, so I can do user it's self-closing, and then it needs name equals host.author.name. Okay, so that's better. It's centered, which I don't want. So to figure out how to uncenter it. There has to be some way to uncenter it. Or actually, what is actually making it centered? It's because it's a flex item and it's item centered. Okay, so that's from the user object. Okay, I guess it's fine for now. Over on the right, I'm going to want to add a like button. So I can do a button. Not self-closing. And that will have like text for now. And then user button is going to be in a div. This div will be a flex item. So that they're beside each other, and then it will have gap. Actually, no. Space between. That is, or items between. Is that not how you do it in Tailwind? Tailwind space between. Justify content. Justify between is what it is. And now in the site, we have the author on the left, the like button on the right, description and the title, and then the flares. So this is looking a lot better. It's still not great though. For the post, I'm going to want to add spacing between each post. To do that, I can make the div a flex item, and then flex column, gap 3. And also give it a padding of 4. And now things are not directly against the edges of the screen now. And they're also not directly against each other. What does Loom Dari's feed look like? Loom Dari is the author directly at the top, as well as the published time, which I could do. Twitch is going to try to run ads in a sec, so we're going to go for another stretch break. But we'll be back once that's done to try to finish up the post feed. Solid progress for today, considering I didn't even have the backend set up yet. What time is it? Yeah. Time to finish up the post feed for today. Once the ads are going, I'll switch to the pause for ads and go do something while that's happening. As soon as Twitch decides to actually run them. In the meantime, I guess I'll have a water break. There they go. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, that should be done now. Hey, Bandon. Alright, what do I want to work on now? I could add in icons, like Lucid icons or something. So I can actually give an icon to the buttons instead of just saying like. How does my form do showing the author? A break from the ad sub. True. Oh, my form's down. Is it being worked on? Okay, yeah, it's been worked on. Okay, I can't check that. Check a similar one. Okay, it has the title and then the user and community. Okay. But that's directly under the title, which I could do. I should not have closed that window because I'm going to need that in a bit. I'll add in Lucid icons. Lucid icons React. Over here, cd jamjar, install Lucid React. So theoretically, if I import camera, I don't actually want camera here. I could just import heart, not heart. Lucid icon search heart. Okay, it is called heart. And then I do heart here. Would that work? And it works. We've got a heart icon. Or something that might be fun is if you click on a flare, it takes you to every post marked with that flare. I would say that's advanced feature though. Beside the like button, I'm going to want to show the amount of likes. I'll just do 1 for now. So it's like this. I guess I'm going to have to do a table to get the likes. Okay, master plan. I go to schema. Relations likes. Will this work? Okay, I'm gonna have to give relation names. Oh, but they're gonna have to like things then more than just posts, because there's also comment likes. I could just store them separately. I do post likes. Likers, user, name, post to author, at relation name post to author. There we go. Not ambiguous anymore. And now we can store every person that has liked the posts. And it will automatically generate a table for that. Over here, I can do include likers. It won't work yet because I haven't actually done a migration. I can go over here. Migrate name, add likes. Here we go, it's been migrated. And now that's not erroring, I can compile it, run it. And then over in the front end, instead of showing 1 here, I can show post.likers.size. Size is not a function. Do I have to do length? Yeah. Okay, and that's 0 because nobody's liked it yet. And then we're gonna have to do a call to make the backend process a like whenever the button's clicked, but that's not a thing yet. So this is fine for now. It's just there for the future. When you click on a user here, you should go to the user page, which doesn't exist yet, but will exist in the future. If I go to next UI user, there should be a link property. Okay, yeah, so I can do name equals instead of just doing it in the name, I'm gonna surround the entire user and a link. Link. href equals /u/ post.author.slug. There you go. Now if I go over here, you can click on these. If I click on it, it goes to /u/dummy, which doesn't exist yet. But I can do a quick user page. Over here in app, I do new folder. Wants to be you. And it will also get the user. Next.js dynamic routes. Okay, so I can do u/ slug. Did that not work? /slug. Unable to move copy when source is a parent of target that. Okay. So if I do this, and then move page into that, I can copy this, put it into here. P test. Now if I test out, okay, yeah, if I go to here now, It does /u/dummy, prints out test. If I just do /u, it does nothing. So instead of just doing test there, I'm going to want to do another component. This component will be user index.js or tsx. Copy what I did for posts, and then remove the code here. Replace it with just div, and then test for now. Over here, instead of fetch post, it'll be fetch user. User, set user. ap1v1/user. ID equal. I guess I can't do ID because I'm going based on slug here. So it has to be slug equals, and then the slug value. So this will be slug, will be a string. So this will not work yet because I don't actually accept passing slug here. I can set it up. Actually, I could test with. Actually, no, I can't test. User. I'll just do slug equals Adagon for now. Get an error, which makes sense. But now I go to the backend, and I go to user. I deconstruct ID and slug. Over here, and not slug. But if ID exists or slug exists, then it will accept it. So if the ID route, then it would do this. Else, if it's the slug route, it will get the user based on the slug, and then send the user. And now that it can actually accept a slug, I'm going to recompile it, run it, go over to the front end, and it didn't throw an error. Oh, never mind. Network error. CORS error. I thought I fixed that. I swear I fixed the CORS error. I'm getting CORS error for everything now. Why am I getting the error now? I don't see why this would cause any issues if I'm just doing the same thing I did before. Oh, ID is missing. Or ID int. Okay, I've gotten the post to load. Over here. Okay, it crashes when I try to search for a user. Oh, I need to do if ID and not isNaN to reverse that. Because now we want that to happen. So it didn't work. Okay. Argument ID missing. Console.log ID number. Console.log ID. Theoretically, that should be falsy. That's a lot of code for something that should not put out that much code. Huh. Did I forget to compile it? That sounds like something I would do. It's working now. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to compile it. Sound front end. I go to user. Over here. Are you working on Game Jam Central? Yeah. Working on the site for it. I got the site for backend up. I'm working on a basic front end. I can show it in a sec. But I want to do if user, then I want to output the user. I'll just do user.name for now, and then user.bio. There we go. There's errors we can... P cannot be descendant of P? Wait. Oh. Yeah, that would cause issues. Okay. So here's basic user page. As you can see, it's heavily under construction because I just started it. But when you go to a user, currently just have it always set to Adagon no matter what user you go to. But if you do /users and then /the user, it gives you the username and then their bio. I can go to the root to get the forum. So you can see I've got 3 test posts in the database. Essentially, it makes a request to the backend gives it the post, and then it displays it, so that other people can then make their own alternate front ends if they want by just hooking into the API calls. So if somebody doesn't like the default front end for the jam, then they can just work on their own. But we got the title of the post, bio of the post, author, a like button. If you click on the author here, it sends you to the user page. Next up, what I want to do is to make it so that it actually populates the slug correctly. I don't know how to get the argument from that. I guess I can look that up. Next.js app router, how to get URL parameter for slug. Okay, I need to use params. Instead of home, this would be user. User page. Slug or I guess I do if slug then it returns this portion, else return no user provided. As string. Only works in a client component. Right. Oh, that would cause issues. Okay. New plan. Instead of passing it, I just query for it in the user object. Alright, welcome back, Pandan. Thank you for the lurk. I want to use params here, and then get the slug from that. And slug equals slug. I go to u/dummy. There we go. So now if I go to dummy, it actually shows the information for dummy instead of Adagon. And if I go to some random user that doesn't exist, it gives me an error because it didn't actually give any data, which is fine for now. There you go. Now you can see pages of random users. What else do I want to work on? What time is it right now? 9:36. I can do something else real quick. I just like to work on making the front page look a bit nicer. So on the left is going to be where the thread is. On the right is going to be announcements, streams, and timers. Do you have a roadmap somewhere? No. I just know what I want to make. So over here in posts, not posts, in the route, main route, we have the posts, and then div, this will have the timers, and then streams, and then announcements. This div will be, should be a flex object. Exit doesn't really need to be. I just give it padding. Under components, I can do timers, index.tsx, streams, index.tsx, and announcements, index.tsx. For each of these, I'll do a basic thing where it just returns a div. for announcements, streams, and timers. There we go. And then I can import these if I actually name them correctly. Announcements, streams, and timers. All right. Over here, I import them. In post, I do a parent div. This div will have a width of 2/3, so that the last third is taken up by the other ones. Does that not work? Huh. I guess that isn't a thing that you can do. Tailwind set width to 2/3. Apparently you can do it. It's just because I don't have this showing properly? No, because that's making it overflow. Okay, if I ask it, with 2/3 is not working. Sure, the parent container has defined width. Okay, so if I do width full, but that also does not work. I can make this flex. Which also does not work. Container. No. I don't see why this wouldn't work. I also don't have Tailwind set up properly, which shouldn't be the case, because I've been doing other stuff correctly, like padding. Unknown @rule Tailwind. That's probably an issue. And Tailwind config. Okay. So that should work. Do I have to restart server? Okay, restarting the server didn't do anything. If I set width to 4, would that do anything? Because that actually did seem to do something. It's just because 4... It's just because 2/3 doesn't exist in Tailwind right now. Tailwind width. Oh no, it exists. What if I do half? Okay, half makes it full. What if I do 200? Or 80? 40? It seems like if I do 4 or 8, it works properly. But anything past that, it does not. Oh, 12 works. Which seems weird. I don't see why that would be the case. Alright, I guess I can do the sidebar later. For now, I will rearrange the post a bit, just to put the author below here. Oh, should I put it above or below flares? I guess flares first, then author and publish date. And I'll also separate out the postcard into a separate object. Postcard.tsx. So export default function postcard. So we'll look for a post object. And we'll return first the div for the flare. I also will copy the entire card thing. And then just do postcard as the tag here. Post equals post. And postcard here, I paste it. And then import card, card body, chip, link, and user, button, and heart. Wrong user import. There we go. Oh, and wrong link import. Next link. Hey, Unema, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? Let me shout you out. Let's shout out Unema. If anybody's not following, go follow. They're one of the other people who are going to be participating in Dev or Die with me on the weekend. That's going to be fun when it happens. There's actually 4 competitors this time. Because the last time I competed, there was only 3. Stream was good, just practicing for the jam. Made a little space shoot in 2 hours. Nice. Yeah, I've just been working on a site for a game jam currently. I'll show you my current progress. localhost 3005. So there's two different parts of the site. There's the front end and the back end. This is the back end, currently at port 3005. And then in this, I can go to API v1 user. Let's say slug is Adagon for myself. And then it gives me user information in JSON. I can also go to a post route, and it gives me a bunch of post data. So I'm basically querying for those URLs in my front end and getting the information so that it can actually display it. So if I go to my front end, you can see this queries for the posts and then shows them here. So we got the post names, the post descriptions, author, and a like button for whether you like the post. If you click on a user, it just brings you to a user page. That's pretty much what I've got currently. You can see the data here is based on what I've got in my database. So for posts, I have 3 example post entries. And then the backend just processes that and sends it when the front end requests it. Looking good so far? Thanks. But yeah, I'm building it so the front end and back end are separated so that people can make their own front ends if they want, or do some other random manipulation of the data. For like stat tools, some other random tools, stuff like that. Yeah, there's been some nice tools made with the Illumidary API. What area am I getting? Oh, right, because I removed the key property. Yeah, my stream on Friday will probably be preparing for Dev or Die. Actually, no, that's a lie. Friday is when Illumidary is ending, so I'm probably going to play games from Illumidary for the games that won. Assuming it's actually on time this time. Because the top 20 posting has never really been on time for the past couple of Illumidaries. I survive extra time, I'll work on Dev or Die preparation. Maybe this time? Maybe. But yeah, normally, I guess it would have been before I started participating in Illumidary, but in like Illumidary 50 and 49 and stuff, there was people who started doing streams to stream the top 20 as they was getting announced. Except after that, the streams have sort of died down because it hasn't really been consistent whether it's actually on time or not. So people have just given up. But the infrastructure is technically in now for it to be on time. Just a matter of whether it's set correctly in production. Okay, what do I want to work on? Right, getting the keys up for... Wait, no, it has the key. Wait, so why am I getting an error for that? I know why I'm getting an error. Let me see. Each child on the list should have a unique key prop. Check the render method of posts. Gaming? Not technically gaming today, but yes. Eventually there will be gaming. Gaming for the Friday stream and then testing the game in Dev or Die. So it says to check the posts render. Oh, is it because Postcard itself doesn't have a key? That seems interesting that it would do that. So do I have to do a div on the outside and then a key there? Key equals post.key. And then in here I can remove that div. And then make it run. And I still get errors. Okay, so that did not fix it. I don't see why not. What if I just restart it? Okay, that didn't fix things. Fair enough. You know what, it's not major. I can fix it later. But yeah, what's the major thing I want to work on? I want to write the timestamp on when a post was made. So in postcard, below flare, I want to move the user button over there, put in a div. Class name will be flex. Then there would be the link user. Then a paragraph. A paragraph in front. This would be by. This would be on. And then it will be the post date for now, which will be post dot created at. So now if you look at that, it just shows by dummy on the date, which isn't formatted at all currently. So I'd have to format that, and I would have to make that look a bit nicer. So text center. That doesn't do anything. Item center. Okay, that fixes things. Gap 3. Just spread it out a bit. Over here, format date. JS. I forget what library I used. I used to use the library. Oh right, I used moment.js, but that's deprecated. Yeah, date FNS is what I used recently. So I can do npm install date FNS. I want to format new date post.created at. Format will be imported from date FNS. Now if I check the site, we can see that's formatted with the day, the month, and the year. I want to go a bit more specific from that, because I want to do relative time. How do you relative? Oh, right, it's format relative. What are you doing? I'm working on a game jam site. So game jam is essentially an event where you make a game in a specific amount of time. And I'm just making a site where I can host one on. So you can see here, I'm currently working on the front page, which is going to have a forum where people can make posts and then see other people's posts for things relating to the jam. There's an example of that on the Loom Dari site, where if you go to the front page, they have posts of people make for the jam, of random topics relating to it. So I'm trying to get that up, making this look a bit nicer. I'm currently formatting the date so that it is a decent format. So I can format relative here. And then what would that give me? Invalid time value. That is not great. Why does it say invalid time value? Oh, it's relative from today. Okay. So I need to do a second argument here. New date. And that'll be today's date. And there we go. Except it did not actually do it properly. Instead of just saying today at 3:42. Would I want it to say like something like 2 hours ago? Oh, add suffix. Oh, format distance is what I want. Okay, okay. So format distance. And if I go to the site, and then if I add suffix, there we go. Okay, we can see by dummy about 6 hours ago, about 6 hours ago, about 6 hours ago. So we got the distance of the time displaying properly. I can get rid of the on since it does it in the distance itself. And then for the title, I'm going to temporarily just set it to a large text to Excel. Is that not a thing? Excel? There we go. Yeah, so we got big text, and then the user, and then the timestamp, flares above that if it exists, bio of the post, and the like button. Alright. I see solid progress for today. We're at the end of the stream time, so I'm going to find somebody to raid out to. Next stream we'll be working on, well, playing the top games from Lim Dari, and then if there's time, doing preparation for Dev or Die, and then there'll be some streams on the weekend participating in Dev or Die, where I'll be making a game in 12 hours on stream. So make sure to stop by for that. That'll be earlier than my usual stream time, just because it's an event with some other people. For people who want it, here's the end of stream slime pack. And who's streaming right now? Big Boy Games is doing Factorio. Hypnotic streaming game dev. We go to Hypnotic. Slash raid. Hypnotic Games. There we go. Okay. Thanks everyone for stopping by. I'll see you all later. For the raid message, if you're subbed, you can post the sub chicken. If you're not subbed, you can post the Unicode chicken, which is right there. And we're going to give Hypnotic some chickens. Yeah, next stream will be Friday, then Saturday, and then Sunday. And goodbye.
That's the bit away.